is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? We are going to be reacting, to the Steelers-Browns wildcard game that happened a couple days ago on Sunday. Now, I know I am recording this and uploading it a little bit later. Probably should have did it after the game already happened, but I was away in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, away from my YouTube setup. I was watching it there, and I was like, yeah, I'll be doing a reaction to it when I'm home. Just got home last night. You guys will be seeing this on Wednesday morning. Now, I did make a reaction to when the Steelers lost to the Jaguars in the playoffs. I believe it was 2018, and that was a funny video to make. You guys enjoyed it. Some people were kind of annoyed with it. So I'm just going to be reacting to the game, kind of my thoughts and opinions on the season, how I feel, how upset I was on Sunday night. So I did tweet out during the game, this might be the most depressed I've been watching football in years, and it was. So before we get into the game, the Steelers started off 11-0, and it really felt like a weird 11-0. Like, wow, they're 11-0. You don't know, that's so hard to do in the NFL, and it's a shame because like the Panthers are the most recent example. Whenever a team is undefeated, everyone's going to hate them. The Steelers weren't supposed to be that good this year. They were supposed to be, I would say, 10-6, 9-7, maybe get the 5th, 6th, or 7th spot in the AFC playoffs. The Ravens were supposed to win the division, and the Steelers started off winning all their games. Yeah, they won 11-0, and everybody kind of wanted them to lose. And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's weird because now I'm on the side of the team that I want to see go undefeated. It's like people wanted them to lose so badly and not go undefeated. And the same thing happened with Carolina back in 2015/16 when they were undefeated, and everybody wanted them to lose. Everybody. It's kind of like the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know, they're always there, and everybody wants them to lose. Now, I feel like those teams each have their own reasons why, but people just don't like to see greatness anymore. I don't know, but when it's LeBron, everybody loves it. But when any other team like can go perfect, I don't know, people didn't like them, but which is fine, you know, I can get that. Like, if the Ravens were 11-0, I want to see them lose, right? Like, it makes sense. So, they had some nice wins. They beat Cleveland, they blew them out. Baker was kind of hurt in that game. They beat Tennessee, they had a great first half, abysmal second half. They beat Baltimore in a thrilling game. And then the Dallas game is when things kind of started to switch around. Like, Ben got hurt, I think, going into halftime. They come out, they barely beat the Cowboys to go to, 9-0? 8-0? Something like that. Then they beat Cincinnati. I'll move myself here so you guys can see the schedule. Sorry about that. They blow out Cincinnati. They still had Joe Burrow at the time. Beat Jacksonville. Okay, games they should win. And then the Baltimore game happened where they got pushed back after Thanksgiving. Lamar Jackson didn't even play. He had COVID and some other players as well, and they barely beat them. Tracy McSorley threw a touchdown against them, and it came down to that. So it's like, okay, everyone's like, should the Steelers really be 11-0? Probably not. Now, everyone wanted to make the joke that they had the cakewalk schedule. I don't know. I don't think it was that bad. I'm pretty sure they were up there in teams over 500 compared to the rest of the AFC. But nonetheless, they played Washington, who the Steelers were definitely better at the time, but they were due for an L, and the Washington front line played great. The Steelers offense, and then like basically after like, I don't know. It was probably after the Baltimore game here, that nice win. The running game just was abysmal. It was a little bit better in Jacksonville. But then after the Jacksonville game, like after a pretty rough three-game stretch, it just fell off, sadly. It really did. They couldn't beat Washington. They go 11-1, and everyone's like, okay, maybe this was just like they were due for an L. They don't have to worry about going perfect, which is so hard to do in the NFL, and they lost. Then they got their toughest test of the season a week later against Buffalo. They weren't really in that game. Ben didn't play too good. Cincinnati, we know how that game went. That first half was actually probably the most frustrating first half I've ever watched with Ben Roethlisberger. Now, that might not be true. There's probably other games that I've been equally upset. But this season, that was the worst half, I've seen from Ben in a long time. Because, like, last year we saw some pretty bad halves with Devon Hodges and Mason Rudolph. They have a great bounce-back game against Indianapolis. I believe they were down, like, 21-0 or 28-7 or something. Or not, that's not possible. They were down, like, I think, like, 21-7 or 21-0. They had a great second half. That was a huge win. Still no rushing game, though. Week 17, they lost. They didn't have their starters. That was expected. Then the playoffs happened. Boy, was I nervous. I did not think they were going to shoe and win this game. Now, I thought they were going to win, and I think a lot of people thought they were going to win as well. Going up against Cleveland last time, kind of their full squad's faced, it was a lot different, right? I don't think Nick Chubb was playing. They beat him 38-7. It was not going to be the same. The game starts off with a touchdown on the first play for Cleveland when the Steelers are on offense, who elected to receive. Or I don't know if they elected to receive, but I hate when the Steelers receive first because They just need the ball at half, right? They get the fumble recovery touchdown, Carl Joseph. When you watch it, Ben and Connor both had a step on those guys. Connor dove for it, missed it. Good job, Connor. It would have been a safety. Would have been 5 less points. Ben doesn't even make an attempt. I think that's with his age. Ben, come on. Lay out for the ball, please. And then Jarvis Landry, then Ben throws the pick over Benny Snell's head on the screen, and it's like, okay. Well, we're down 7-0. They have the ball in their side of the field, or the Steelers side of the field, I should say. And it's like, okay, 14-0 is a real possibility. Boom, first 5.5 minutes in, they're down 14-0. Then the Steelers, I believe, go 3 and out, or they got a first down, then they punted. Boom, Kareem Hunt goes down. And I'm like sitting here in a bar in South Carolina, very upset. And the best thing I recommend when you're a fan of a team and you're passionate, and you don't want to get more upset about it, don't go on social media. I actually wasn't as upset because I wasn't really on social media. The only time I was to tweet out that tweet saying I was very depressed watching it, but it would have been a lot worse because I know everybody was probably clowning the Steelers on Twitter, and it doesn't really help when Juju and Claypool don't really want to make you root for them. I'm always going to root for the Steelers, but boy, wouldn't you want to think I don't know, just don't be so cocky. They were very cocky going against the Browns. I don't know if that's a young player thing. I don't really know. But boom, we're down 28-0. I'm sorry, the Steelers are down 28-0 in the first quarter. The worst possible start you could ever imagine. And then they score 28-7. Okay, it's still possible, right? It's still possible. Boom. Cleveland, I feel like Dennis Rodman, comes right down, marches, touchdown, 64 yards in 9 plays. And it's like, all right, they get a field goal to end the first half. It would have been nice if it was 28-10, not 35. They start out, they have a great third quarter, and this is where it was okay, there's a possibility where they ended up scoring 2 touchdowns on the third. There was a third and 2. They had, I don't know, it was maybe Spillane or it was Vince Williams or Avery Williamson on, I think, Jarvis Landry. And it's this always happens with Keith Butler's defense. It's been like this since Dick LeBeau left. I don't know, but in third and situational plays where you need a stop, they always end up with a linebacker on a receiver. If you watch I was at this game a couple years ago where the Steelers lost to the Chargers. Keenan Allen torched Vince Williams and goddamn Mark Barron, oh boy. Or I don't even know if he was on the team. It was definitely Vince Williams, but torched him. And it's why is our linebacker on one of the... And this is their best receiver. Odell's out. This is the number 1 guy. I don't really get that. And then Tomlin was so frustrating. He punted on 4th and 2 from the 40-yard line or 45-yard line. It's do you even care? You're giving up right now. You're giving up. Claypool scored 2 touchdowns on the 4th. They got a couple field goals. It was pretty much it. Which really sucked. I think they went for the onside. I don't even remember at that point. I kind of turned it off. But it was a frustrating game, man. It really was. Obviously, I don't know. Ben played not great. They don't have a running game. They haven't had a running game since week 10. They got 84 yards out of Benny Snell. Was it against the Baltimore game or maybe the one after that? They have... It's not really a bright future. This is a Super Bowl roster. It definitely is. It's a top 5... It's a top 3 roster in the AFC, and it's probably a top 6 roster in football. They went in 11-0 for crying out loud. But boy, they abandoned the run. They had a bunch of 2 huge injuries. Bud Dupree tears his ACL. Devin Bush tears his ACL. Bush was in the Titans game, and Dupree was in the Ravens game. And it's okay, two of the 3 best linebackers, because you'd have Watt and then probably Dupree and then Bush. Boom. Out for the year. That hurts. And you'll explain Highsmith did step up, but was not Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree's a free agent. I don't know if they're going to tag him again. I don't even know if they can. I don't know about that. And then they'll have to see. I don't think he's going to be back because they're paying so many guys so much money, like DeCastro, Ben, Pouncey, Cam Hayward, Steven Tuitt. They're going to have to give TJ Watt a mega extension in the offseason. So it's Bud Dupree, I don't expect him to come back. Maybe Joe Hayden. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Are they going to cut him? Because Mike Hilton and Cam Sutton, 2 of your young corners, are both free agents, and I believe unrestricted. So one of them's probably gone. And then you have James Conner, free agent. You don't really need to bring him back. Juju's a free agent. Honestly, I'm cool with running with Deontay, Claypool, and James Washington next year. And then maybe you look at I don't know, bring in a fourth guy, maybe Ray McLeod used him kind of a little bit this year. Anyway, and boy, like the first fullback run with Derek White, like worked on 3rd and short, and then they did it again, and he walked right, or he ran right into like Ebron or McDonald, and it was just like, oh my god, I can't watch this anymore. It was a pretty frustrating end, like a first round exit when you go 11-0, right? Like that does suck. I don't think the Steelers are good. I think Ben Roethlisberger will be the starting quarterback next year. Next year could be his last year, and I think it will be. I believe that's the last year of his current contract. We'll see. Do they go Mac Jones at 28 or 24? Excuse me. Do they look at the Sam Darnold trade market? Do they look at I doubt Matthew Stafford, or like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like one of those quarterbacks that could possibly be on the market. That possibly Ben's successor. I don't think it's Mason Rudolph. I would really like Najee Harris at 24. Give them a really good running back. And I think Connor is fine. I just think I think it comes back on Randy Fitchner, the offensive coordinator. And then obviously losing Mike Munchak, the offensive line coach, recently does hurt a lot because the offensive line kind of looked lost sometimes. The Castro missed some games. Villanueva did. Kevin Dotson did. It was a revolving door. Zach Banner tore his ACL, I believe, in the preseason. Or, no, not the preseason. In the start of the year, first game of the year, I think, or something. So it really did suck there. But yeah, disappointing end of the year. I know some of you guys would want to get my reaction. They didn't deserve to win this game. They didn't play like it. The Browns wanted a lot more, and you were at home. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't know if it's like a wake-up call because it's not like you can run this team back. They're probably going to get worse next year unless they ace all their draft picks, which with the Steelers, I don't know. They're pretty hit or miss on their draft picks. So we'll see what they do. I doubt they make any big splashes in free agency, nor are they going to have the cap space. We'll see if they let go of Sutton, Hilton, Dupree, and kind of hurt that defense a little bit. Hayden's getting up there in age. Pouncey, DeCastro, Ben, Cam Hayward. They're not getting any younger. They're really not. Vince Williams. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. That's my reaction to the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you guys did. I will have tier list videos out these next couple of days. And Sporkles as well. I got a couple good tier lists. Shout out to MC for those as well. And yeah, Corvette. You can clown them below in the comments. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.